Hi everybody, hope you're well. So you're live with us. So this is Ademola. I'm the CEO and founder of 1000 Black Boys and Get Hench. So here's the background. So Get Hench started first, and Get Hench are about a powerful vision, which is one that I share, that people are unleashed into their greatness and that they become purpose and that they be their awesome. So that means that every single day where you wake up, you live a life that completely lights you up, and that life doesn't have to be the same old, same old. You can have something completely different that lights you up. And 1000 Black Boys started out of a genuine passion and desire to make a difference to Black boys and young Black men. It was a time in 2018 when every time we watched the news, it spoke about a Black boy being stabbed, or this had happened in this part of London, and that was the news consistently. And I just thought to myself, I definitely want to make a difference to that. And especially because all the things that I saw were, we've got to increase stop and search, we've got to get tougher on crime, we have to increase tougher sentencing, all of this stuff. And nothing was actually talking about, let's deal with the cause of this. So the cause, rather than dealing with the symptom, what's really at the source of this that we can deal with. And the thing that I saw is, get these young Black boys and young Black men clear on purpose, clear on who they are, the potential that they have and that they carry. And that when you bring that to the table, things transform. So 1000 Black Boys, we're not about stopping or tackling knife crime and fighting knife crime. No, we're about replacing it with something far more beautiful, something that's really about purpose and about a life that's meaningful. And in that place, all the other stuff disappears. So that's a quick introduction. So next week, we're doing 2 days of just pure inspiration. So 2 days, we're doing an event themed how to be powerful during challenging times. And we're talking with many people who've dealt with challenges in their life, in their business, in their careers, and they're sharing their experiences, tools, providing their contacts, so you can reach out to them, so you can produce results. So that's what we're doing next week. So we're going to start on Friday from 3:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. and then Saturday from 3:30 p.m. till 6 p.m. just purely inspiring people. And today is our build up to that, and it's called A Day of Lives. So Instagram Live, Facebook Lives, to inspire lives, which is your life. So that's what we're doing. Right now, we're bringing on Elizabeth Ajiyemi, who is the founder of Ominira Limited. And I've also got to say, she's my niece. So I've seen her grow and develop. I've seen her go into business. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. She's really incredible. So we're gonna just get to know her today. And this is a chance for her to tell us about who she is and what she's up to, and hopefully inspire you in the process so you can get some tools for yourself and for your life. So here she is.
Hiya.
How are you doing?
I'm really well.
Good stuff. What's that on your head?
I thought I should wear a headscarf today.
Okay.
Just felt like, being a bit ethnic. I don't know why I just said that. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought, what, let me do a little bit of a collar block and do the bright pink with the green. I don't know. That's what I wanted to do. Leave me alone.
Cool, man. It looks good. Well done. It looks good. And so with this, so this is going to be on the 1000 Black Boys page. It's on my personal page as well. We're going to see if we can put it to the Get Hench page. But just tell us, who are you? What do you do? Why do you do it?
Okay, sure. So my name is Elizabeth Ajiyemi, and I'm a mother of one to a gorgeous 6-year-old. Her name is Eden.
Oh,
and she's so cutie. And 6 years old is such a cute age, So all these things, all these questions she has now about everything, it's just fascinating. And when I'm not mothering, I'm also I run a business. It's called Ominira Limited. And it specializes in property management, service departments, so everything from Airbnb all the way to corporate lettings, and gaining more business into the business. And when I'm not doing that, I've just started a new business called Ominira Deliveries, and that's where we go around London delivering food parcels to people who might need that support. So
Okay.
just started, so we're just kind of getting our bases in now and getting all the schedules in for the who's going to drive where and how we're going to pick up stuff. So it's all very new and very excited again, and I love it already. I love it. It just is a lot to do and it's fun.
And why do you do what you do?
Why I do what I do?
You got nothing better to do?
Sorry, say that again.
I was being funny. I was asking like you got nothing better to do, but yeah,
I've
tell
got
us why do
nothing
you
better
do what you
to
do?
No, this is quite a big loaded question. Why do I do what I do? So ultimately, I do what I do. It's like an umbrella. So the umbrella is people are free, people are in action, and people are living fulfilled lives. That's my motto for everything. That's how I see life. When I think about it, it just gets to me instantly. And then inside of that, it's the when I break it down to like why freedom. So my business Ominira, or if I give it the actual cadence, like Ominira, is a Yoruba word in Nigeria, and it means freedom. And when I think about my life, I'm going to get emotional. When I think about everything
You're
I've
gonna
been through,
cry.
I know. Can you imagine? It's only like 35 minutes. And I think about like the journey. I just turned 30 years old, and
You turned 30 as well.
yeah, just on 30 last month, and all the stuff that I've been through. Yeah, freedom is the thing that is like has always been this is what I want in my life, and this is how I'm gonna find a way to achieve that. And I do have that as a Christian. I'm free in Christ, but at the same time as well, I want to also like translate that to other areas of my life, so that it is fulfilling and it is freeing and it is in action. And so then all the other things kind of fall into place. If I want freedom, I've got to get in action so I can have a fulfilled life. Yeah, that's why I do what I do. And there's so many examples of how what I thought was like hard, disgusting, terrible, couldn't believe this is happening to me. Actually, it's like a build up to what I want for myself. And actually, it's all training. All of it has been training. There's so many examples of what's not gone well, what's gone well, and here we are today.
And I think it's really great. That's the reason why I brought you on, because you've been through some challenges. You've had like incredible highs, and then these bam, incredible like lows. And you've been able to go through them. And it's really important at a time like this. We're now coming to the end of the 13th week of a lockdown in the UK, unprecedented. The UK economy has been shut down for 13 weeks. We're getting to the 14th week. So people are massively impacted. Lots of worries about finances, lots of worries about the future, about the children. I read something last week which said, or a few weeks ago, we said about 30,000 shops and restaurants and pubs aren't going to open again. They will never open again.
Yeah.
That's somebody's livelihood. And then there's been the protests, and in the US, the riots. So there's a lot of things going on for people right now. The mainstream media is giving us and bombarding us and getting us and giving us all this stuff. And I think it's really powerful that people hear from you and what you've dealt with as a source of inspiration. That this is real, and that I can learn, I can use similar things. So I'm going to give you like a lead in. So how was the first year of your business? So you started the business from scratch. After 12 months, tell us what happened.
So I started the business in 2018. The first couple of months were just like, what have I just done? What have I just done? This is not normal. I was like on a high. I was like going. And then at like November time, I was like, I have my first property. Oh my goodness, what have I done? Am I really getting... I was all over the place. And then I think by February 2019, that's when I was like, right, I've done what we've done. We're in this now. I've left my full-time job. And yeah, this is what we're going to do. And with that, fire my belly, let's get going, and using the resources around me. Resources more being people. So like not just trying to do it on my own, which was always my thing. But like work with people, like the person you just had on before, Trey Lowe. He was like my business buddy. and every week we'd have phone calls about, you know, what's happening, how you're going to move the next week forward, and putting a system like that in place. And amongst other things too, within the first year, I made nearly £100,000 in turnover. It was, when I done the calculations, I think just a couple of months ago, so like November 2019, I remember just sitting in my chair like, because I hadn't tracked it. I was just like, go, 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 go. And I was like, just work hard, try and cut costs here, save money here, try and bring more business. Like, I even joined a WeWork. I don't know if you know WeWork. A WeWork is like a shared workspace. I think about it now, and I remember, like, you know, every time I go to the reception desk, I'd be like, you know, I have Ominira Limited, and you know, we do service partners. If you know anybody that might, imagine, like, I just joined. I'd be in the kitchen area and be like, oh, are you looking for a place to stay? And I would just insert it in every way, which way. And knowing the kind of person I used to be, it was completely new, but so exhilarating. And it still is. Yeah.
So basically, in the first year, you did nearly 6 figures. So in year one of business, you went from £0, 0 pence to almost £100,000.
Literally 0, no investment either, not in the beginning. I got it midway. So I started from scratch. It was literally speak to the landlords. I'm amazing. Do you trust me? And quite like that, I had to really bring all the tools and all the training I've had over the years and just be like, look, this is what I want to do. Luckily, the place was already nice. It wasn't like terrible. It was already partly furnished. The most I had to do, I was working at the time, so I could put some money towards like bedding and stuff. And yeah, just followed the programs and got tenants in, and that was it. And I think for me, when it really kind of to kick into gear was when I left my previous workplace, and that was the point where it was like,
Tell us about
we
that.
need to make money.
So the place I want to get to. So you were working for a council, right?
Yeah, a London council.
Tell us about that experience.
Oh, it was not nice.
Don't mention names. I'm not sure if we mention names there, but maybe we can. But we'll maybe for next time. But you're working for this major council in London, in East London.
East London.
And what happened with this council?
So, as with anything, when you have a new job, you just finish university, all that stuff, you know, everything's happy, go lucky, you know, oh, I've got my first job and it's my first proper job, you know. Yeah, it was really good in the beginning. And then and then as always, there's a change in management. And this particular council, there's a lot more Black and Asian people working for it than, say, white people. And but as with most councils, majority of people that can make decisions about your life, about your career, are always white, and they're always in management or upper management. But I was like, you know, I don't know, 24, 25. So I was like, it's fine. No, I'm going to get there anyway. So I was in my own little bubble about all sorts of things, just trying to live my life. Anyway, there was a change in management, and that's when it went downhill. And it was a case of,
what went downhill? Tell us.
So what went down? So okay, all right, we're going to talk about it then. It started off with one. So, and then
kind of lost you a little bit.
What I found was when one joined, so one of the white managers, she joined, she then now invited other people that she used to work with in other councils and other organizations to also be part of the management team. So there was a restructure in the department, and they had the power essentially to, rather than recruit up, so everyone on that's been here for 2 or 3 years to come up with her, she went outside and recruited from outside. And nothing wrong, but at the same time,
like
people that have the experience, people that have the experience, they couldn't move up. It affects a lot of people, and I just been there maybe 2.5 years, but there's people that have been there 15 years or more, and again they were in the same position that they were then. So
hold on, really make sure that's clear. Can you hear me? So literally, on the face of it, it sounds like this manager had her contacts on a network and she reached out to them. So on the face of it, that's not a bad thing, is it? Like, you know, this people, you work with them, you trust them, right?
Yeah.
They can deliver.
But in hindsight, when you look at it, it's like, actually, no, that didn't work, because when they came in, it just kind of went upside down instantly, because they didn't understand the culture of the office. They didn't understand the culture of Hackney and East London and how things are. They didn't understand, like, you know, Black people and how we've been working all this while and how effective it's been because of the kind of people in the community. We can speak to them in a certain kind of a way that they get it. And then the manager comes along on the floor and they're like, no, we're not doing like that. We're doing like this. It's like, no, you can't talk to this person like this, because we know, and we've created a relationship over the last couple of years in terms of how to serve them. Yeah. So
you mean basically what you're saying is, just so it's clear, is like people that have been there for like 15 years plus. You've been there for like 2 years. You understood the culture. So those that came in just didn't have the cultural intelligence. They didn't have the intelligence to work.
Yeah.
So not smart. They're smart, but in terms of knowing the culture and knowing the area, that was completely missing.
Yeah. And completely tone deaf with it. And then it will start to upset people. But again, I still didn't see that. I just thought, oh, maybe, you know, we just need fresh eyes. I wasn't in that whole, it's racist, it's terrible, you don't understand, Elizabeth. I wasn't in that space. I just thought, I've got a job, I've got a daughter, I'm able to provide for her. It's going to be okay. It was year 3 that another manager came on, and I don't know what it was. She just came on my head and she sat on it and was like, I'm going to make your life hell.
Is that what she said?
No, but that's what it felt like. It was that experience of, she was like a bear on my back and she was not letting go.
What happened? I mean, this could be an opportunity to, this could be an opportunity to expose Hackney Council.
You mentioned the name. It wasn't me.
You said Hackney earlier. You said Hackney earlier. Maybe this is an opportunity to actually expose the system they have and how bad the system is. So go for it. What actually happened?
It's still bad. It's still bad as well. So so I got promoted to supervisor, which meant that you know, I was in charge of different things, different projects. And when obviously, again, when you first get a new job, you're told it's now going to be a bit more managerial. So exciting, more money, all that stuff. And then we in the beginning were working very closely together, me and this manager. And, you know, I'd send her stuff, she'd reply back, and it was really nice project management, little mini role going on. And anyway, I can't pinpoint exactly what happened, but it was an issue around how many hours I worked, and you know, what and then what she thought I worked. That's how it started. So it was very small. And given all the training and all the things I've gone through, I was like, no, let's just go through this, explain it, work through it systematically. Like, okay, this is what happened, and this is the reason why I'm justifying this and that. And it was me doing that annoyed her, and there was no way of me getting around it. And so therefore, she don't now escalate it to the next manager, and then it will be done. And then so there's actually money that I could have made from Hackney, but I couldn't because she had kind of blocked that. Because to her, it just didn't, I couldn't justify, or she couldn't find the reasons why I could justify the hours. And that's when it started to go downhill. And I thought that had finished, but then early 2018 started to nitpick at, you know, other things like, oh, you're late here. And it will be like late for a minute or 2 minutes. And I get sometimes when people give a story, they always like to create the story as if they're the victim. So I'm very cautious about, okay, yeah, I can take responsibility for certain things, but then there'll be a way that she would do it that was so draconian. It was like, okay, everyone needs to calm down. Because even if like I'm late here, I'll instantly send an email. I would then work later, whether I'm approved to or not, just so that at least I can make some time up and all the other stuff. But again, it would affect the relationship going forward, because then all of a sudden she could no longer trust me. And it escalated.
Something that's not coming across in what they're saying is, if you were late, you were late. But like, how was that racist? Where was the racism?
So the racism started from her essentially moving mad to other people. So
what happened?
I use the word moving mad because that's the only word I can, or only phrase I can give it.
So how she behaved?
So she would so there was an incident in the floor where she said to somebody, oh, she didn't say to someone, but someone sent her an email, and the person that sent an email, English is not his first language, and she made a comment on that in front of the whole, that section of the office, and said, oh, I can't understand his English. Oh, so African. Oh, gosh. Like that. And everyone was like, but then there became a culture because of the kind of managers that were in. There was now this new culture of we can't say anything. So before, at least, you could say something. Now, everyone was like, so that happened? Who's talking about it? Nobody. And they deliberately kept people as temps and agency staff
I want
rather
to just
than
anchor that
promoting them.
what you just said.
Say that again.
So I want to anchor what you said. So she got an email from one of the employees.
Yeah.
English is not his first language, and she goes, "Oh, I can't understand what he's saying. He's so African." Okay, cool. All right.
Another instances where, you know, another manager, she was like, oh, you bunch of monkeys, but it's a whole room of people who are all black in this.
A manager said that you're a bunch of monkeys.
She's now since left, but yeah, she said that. She wasn't dismissed, she left. Like proper resignation, like, oh, it's so sad to see you go.
Oh dear.
But yeah, so and again, because she kept her department as temps, no one can escalate it. It's only now that it's now beginning to come out in the surface in the council with the unions. But at the time, it was, everyone was just silent about it. And the people that were permanent, like myself and a few other people, we weren't there exactly to say, okay, this happened, we heard it. And the one that was permanent, that was on our level, like supervisor level, he was again too scared to go to the unions and say something, or at least report it to someone else. And even if you've reported to someone else, the person you're reporting it to is the person that hired her, or hired the person that hired her. So however high you go, it's always going to come crashing back down. And for me, all these things that were happening, and just a whole bunch of bullying, and like just this attack, so to speak.
Just very quickly, so
in the end,
I'd like to say a bit more about the bullying. But I remember, wasn't there one occasion when somebody was making food, could be like Nigerian food, and someone's like, where are you going with that dog food? Well, tell me more about that.
Yeah.
Is that what happened? Or did I make it up?
No, not exactly that term, but they'd always complain about the food. Oh, it really smells here. Oh, are you able to kind of like not have this kind of food when you come back into the office tomorrow or whatever? Like they would it's the insinuation. And if you read further into it, it's like, but I'm just trying to live my life. I'm just trying to eat my jollof rice or whatever it was. It'll be, and then it's like little microaggressions as well. So, second guessing what you're saying, undermining. We're in a meeting and it's like, no, we're not going to listen to that right now. Please, Kaylee, start talking or something like that. And it would just be have something to contribute. But it wasn't happening. And so towards the middle of 2018, I wrote it's here actually in front of me. It's like a big wad of complaints against this particular person and her manager, and took it to the union, took it to different people, HR as well. And everything that I had put forward as a complaint, they had 10 other reasons why they could disregard it. And that was really upsetting. And so the final meeting I had with this particular manager, her manager, and a friend that I brought as a witness to the meeting, I said, okay, I might sound like a 5-year-old right now. There's no other way for me to say this, but I'm just going to say it like that. And I'd like for you to respond. So everything that's happened up until this point, it's making me upset. So much so, I'm sad. And I want it to be gone, but I don't think you're listening to me. And you, person's name, make me sad. And rather than the whole, I'm very sorry to hear that, Elizabeth, or all that, oh, I'm so sorry. No. Well, we've looked at your case and we can see here that we don't understand. And then they will start reeling out all the things that were really terrible and be like, even just to say sorry, can't even do that. And yeah, it was that point. I was like, right, it's over. There's gonna, and I don't know how it was. It's like a switch in my head. It was like, right, I've literally said it in a raw, the way I can say it. and it's not landing. This person is quite hell-bent and stuck in their ways, should I say. And so I was on sick leave for 4 months.
And then from then, eventually you resigned and then you left the council. So you took that step. Okay, so that was a high. I've got a new job. Hey, it's great, 24. And then you had that experience, low. And then you resigned, a real low.
Yeah.
And then you start your business. And in the first year, you nearly turn over 6 figures in year 1, which is very rare in year 1 for businesses.
Yeah.
As one person within the business fully.
Literally, yeah. And
I'm flying. Like, wow, I'm going to take over the world.
Yeah.
Amazing. And what happened in April? Is it April 2019?
April, the scandalous month. I used to have a name for it. Trey and I used to have a name for it. I can't remember what it is. We used to call it the April of my life. So April 2019. So November 2018, I took out a loan with a company, and they, in the beginning, obviously everything's really great. You only understand to an extent what you understand about finances or any topic in life. So for this particular loan, what I understood was early penalty repayments, what are the repayment terms, what's the interest rate, all those basic things I understood. And when I called them, asking questions, they were like, yeah, no worries, we're designed specifically for small businesses to give you a helping hand, because we know you just started, all that stuff. So they were saying all the great things. I checked them out on Trustpilot, Googled them, seemed pretty cool. There was nothing scandalous. So I was like, right, okay, let me take out 25,000. Okay, sure, that's going to help. And it did help towards, expanding and picking up more properties. And so coming along, and then the repayment starts happening, which is not a problem, obviously. But I'm just like, why is these repayments so high, given that the interest rate you said is so low? Well, if you check your contract, you will see blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, the contract that they gave us to sign was like 50 pages long. There was a lot of jargon in there, and there was pressure selling. So we had to sign there and then. We couldn't like take it away or look at it further. The guy would come with the paper, you sign it, and then he takes it back to the head office.
So literally, it was a case of, here's the contract, lots of pages. How many pages was it?
More than 50.
50 plus pages.
Every page got a sign.
Pardon?
Every page got a sign, and it was me and a guarantor.
So 55 pages. Well, let's go 55 pages. You've got to sign every page. Like, now, let's do it really quickly. And then you go ahead with £25,000. And then this was November 2018. Yeah. And I get April 2019. What did you find out?
So what I found out, so the person that guaranteed the loan, so the loan was guaranteed against this person's house. So she's a friend of mine. And the loan was, guaranteed against the house. And we offered to them in the beginning, we offered them like 5 options to choose from. So that's what helped the case move quickly, because we had loads of houses for them to choose. So they said, okay, we're going to put it on this house. When it came to the time of her selling the house, so she's had a problem selling that house. So it's now time to finalize. And then there's an issue with, there's a charge on your property. And she's like, impossible.
What's my charge? What's the charge?
So charge is where, so in order to guarantee a loan to somebody using a house.
As collateral.
As collateral, yeah. So they put the loan and all its charges against that house. And so if you don't pay the loan back, they'll take the house away. So that was the ramifications. Sorry.
Without you guys knowing?
No, we will know. But we didn't know that they had put that part of the money's charge on that house.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So the charge they put onto house, they put the charge on, and you didn't know about that.
Yeah, we didn't know. No.
So now she wants to sell the house.
Yeah.
And they're like, you can't sell the house because there's a charge on it. She's like, what? Yeah. What do you mean?
And and there's an email like way back in January saying, This is after the loan had been finalized. Just so you know, this particular house is up for sale, so please be considerate in terms of how you do your charges. So there was so that was already there in the history on the archives.
Right.
But they deliberately put that charge on that house. So in order to sell the house, she had to pay the loan. And it wasn't a case of, okay, we just pay part of the loan, or okay, we just paid the £25,000 and then basically I now owe her the money. No, what we found out in April, and I remember sitting on my sofa when I saw the email, and it shows what I borrowed, the interest, which was not 5%. It's 5% per week. They didn't mention that. Then there's the redemption fee, which is double the amount that I borrowed. Then there's the removing the charge off the property fee, £10,000, and all that added up to like, I don't know. In a sense, it added up to nearly £90,000, or nearly £90,000.
Want to make sure. So you borrowed £25,000.
Yeah.
And now you wanted to basically pay it off early so that your guarantor could sell the house.
Yeah.
And they were asking for nearly £90,000.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah. And then the business is not even yet 1 year old. It's like it's hot.
Were you like, my chest?
It was the instant reaction was I can't describe. It was like, what? I remember watching something. I paused the TV. I just like sat back, and then I started hyperventilating. I instantly called the broker that was helping us to what's the word? Not remortgage. But it's like a remortgage, but for a loan. I can't remember the word is. It's like basically remove the loan from these guys to put into a more into a better loan product.
Restructure.
Restructure, yeah. So yeah, changing the loan around to make it a better product. And I called him instantly, and I sent the email to him, and he was just like, F word, reading it as he's going down. No, like it was so bad. And he was like, how are we going to fix this? He's like, okay, Elizabeth, all you could do right now that we know the final figure, just calm down, rest. We can deal with this in the morning. I couldn't rest. That was the first time I couldn't sleep. And then it was in that time my insomnia kicked in. My sleep is now better now. But during that period of time, oh my goodness, I wasn't normal. It didn't feel normal, but at the same time, if I look, that was the most profitable time in the business, because I kind of channeled all the energy into just pumping more into the business, just to kind of distract me and grow it more. And even then, during that time, I picked up another property. So yeah, it was so difficult. And then so what made it come, so though it was 90,000 ish pounds, £90,000, my friend and I, we actually went to their head office in Milton Keynes and just discussed it all and said, hey, you saw us in November 2018. You did not say this. And we had all the proof. And because of what I've gone through in Hackney, I know how to document. I know how to kind of bring out things that no one would know that has been there or hidden away. And we like line it, highlight it for them. And in the end, they knocked off, I think, they said they knocked off initially 15,000. And we're like, no, that is not good enough. It needs to be lowered. It needs to be lowered more. And in the end, what we had to pay was £52,000.
Sure. So in the end, just to add to that, so you paid £52,000 and you borrowed £25,000.
Yeah.
And £52,000 was still a lot more than you were expecting, but that's a massive difference from paying £90,000.
Massive. And my broker was like, how did you do it? I said, the story, I've kind of condensed this story into 1 minute. There was so many facets to it. And it didn't take like overnight. It took like bish, bosh, like fighting it until we got what we got. We also went into the papers. So if you Google my name, you'll find the story of it on the Sunday Times. And it's not over. We're still fighting it. You know, there's a podcast coming out in a couple of days' time, and it's also going to describe further the story and how since they've still carried on doing this stuff, this company.
Basically, these guys are loan sharks, essentially.
Yeah, they are. Completely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what? And today so then there was the coronavirus, property business being impacted.
Yeah.
What's happened since then?
So coronavirus.
So we're done in about 5 minutes.
Oh, we are.
Yeah, I know time flies, isn't it? So you can tell us more next week. So for those of you that want to hear more about Elizabeth's journey, join us next week. We're doing a day or 2 days of inspiration. We're talking about how to be powerful in challenging times. And the things we want to bring out is, so here's somebody who's dealt with highs and lows, some pretty significant lows, and she's been able to pick herself back up and go again. So there's tools that she can share with you that you can learn from. So yeah, so tell us about the coronavirus and the impact of that on your business. So
coronavirus has completely impacted the service department side of my business. So I have 2 sides. It's the same business, but 2 sides. This is for Ominira, the property side business. So I have HMO, so they are houses of multiple occupation. And that's where, you know, a bunch of 5, you know, professionals will come along and share a house. So that side of the business is fine. You know, people are paying their rent time, and there's no issues with eviction. If I've had any payment holidays, I pass it on to them if I can. So that side has been okay. But then there's another side of my business, and that side is the service accommodation side. So this is where, you know, this is like the Airbnbs, the booking.com, the, you know, companies will let the place for a month for their employees. That side has been completely decimated in a sense. Sure. So it's still there, but it's not. And I've lost over £72,000 worth of bookings.
Stop! So since coronavirus, she's lost over £72,000 worth of business. 72K. My chest.
It's painful. It's painful. It's painful.
But what we want to get to as well is, so you've dealt with that, and what's happened since then?
So what's happened is then is pivot. So I've had to really get coaching and look at like my life in a sense of, okay, I've got this entrepreneurial spirit. I don't want it just to kind of go to one side and then kind of go back to where I started. So what can I do? What skills do I have? So I've got another enterprise that I do with Trey, which is Alpha Click. So this is where we do coaching. And I've looked at ways that I can coach people, maybe single mom, people just starting out in property or in business that might want to know how to kind of navigate this whole market. So that's been going on the side.
And you know a lot about that. So for that, that's something you created during the lockdown.
During lockdown, yeah.
It's already experience that you have, and it's not from a textbook. You've lived it.
Lived it.
So you can now give this to people.
Yeah. So there's that. And then another business I've started up is called Ominira Deliveries. And that's where I just realized like I'm kind of hospitality. I'm like fall under that sector because I've got guest houses. So I do qualify for wholesale cards. So wholesale from stores. Sure. You know, like Costco, those kind of like big warehouses where people go and restock their shop. So I can also apply for those cards and go in because I have a business that can back it. And got all the cards now apart from one. And we're going to set up a Shopify site and a PayPal site so that we can start to get in deliveries. People can come and order food, African food, Caribbean food, any food, and we will deliver it to your house.
So they come to your website. They say, I want to have some plantain. I want to have some rice. So press, and then you deliver it to them.
Yeah, so we're currently creating just a very basic, you know, like a landing page.
Sure.
Where people just type in their orders. And the first things we're doing now is kind of sharing it on WhatsApp groups. So I'm part of a lot of WhatsApp groups, and my mother is too. A lot of Nigerian ones. You know those Nigerian WhatsApps. Those ones, all the information. So it's a perfect opportunity. You know, people are still working from home, but they don't really want to go to shop. They've gotten used to shopping online, and we can just get in the car. They'll pay for petrol, and we'll go and deliver it to their door. And it's quicker than waiting for the delivery companies like Sainsbury's Ocado, which has got like 3 weeks wait time, we are aiming to do it within 3 days, if not less.
So just to say to people that are out there, so during the lockdown, her business, one part of the business has lost £72,000. And in that same time, she's created 2 other revenue streams for her business, or 2 other businesses during the lockdown. And I just want to say to you that it's a great opportunity right now. I know things are challenging, things are difficult. So we're really about how can you look up at life and really embrace life. And so even though there'll be ups and downs, how can you make the most of the downs and really maximize it and go for it? So here is the prime example, Elizabeth Ajiyemi from Ominira Limited and the great things that she's done. And to find out more about her, please join us next week from 3:30 p.m. And just really succinctly, if you can, we're giving people something to do within 24 hours of listening to this interview. What's the one thing you'd give them to do within 24 hours? One thing.
Okay. So most people, if not everybody, has a really great idea for their lives or for life for people. And if you really look at it, most times it's never always selfish. It's always to give back to people and help somebody or help the community. So it's usually the thing that's like, oh, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll do that tomorrow. No, we're not doing that tomorrow. We're doing that now. So when you come off this live or you really finish watching all the other lives, go and write down this vision. Like, make it very clear for yourself, and then write down bullet points of how to take action. Some of the actions could look like speaking to other people about it, maybe creating a team around it, but do something that can move that thing forward, especially if you're from a Black background, because that's how we create our own economies. That's how we create our own wealth streams, and then we can start to support each other inside of that. So
your coaching is within 24 hours.
Yes.
Your idea, your business idea.
Yeah.
I'd say give yourself.
People are more entrepreneurial. You know, you have ideas. I know it. I know. In my heart, I know. Write it down, make it very clear for yourself, and then start to bullet point actions you can take so that that thing gets fulfilled. And when you can't think of more, think of more.
So to conclude, so literally give yourself 40 minutes, sit down, pen and paper, no social media, no TV, nothing. Just write down, this is the idea that I've got. This is what I've got a vision to do. And this is how I see I could do it. That's the first step. That's the first step. That's easy. You could do that within 24 hours. So that's the request from Elizabeth and myself, so that you haven't just listened to this and kind of thought that was really helpful. You've got homework. You've got homework. So you've got 24 hours. By this time tomorrow, 2:45 p.m. So today is the 20th of June, 2020. For those of you who are watching this right now live, by the 21st of June, 2:45 p.m., you've done the thing. You've written it down. If you're watching this afterwards, you got homework. 24 hours. Go and do something. So brilliant. So Elizabeth, thank you for being on. It's a real pleasure. It's a real pleasure. Look, you're my niece, and I've seen the journey. I've seen the growth. And there's lots of people that need to hear from you. There's people that you don't see it. When you open your mouth, they'll be like, oh my God, yes. So there's people out there that need to hear from you. So I'm glad that I could give you a platform to speak. So have a great one. And then, so next week.
Yes, next week.
Ruth Temitope Adekoya is asking, that's a fantastic idea. Yeah. I hope delivery will be available in London.
Oh, is it available in London? It's starting off in London.
Ruth, the answer is yes. So connect with Elizabeth and let's get this business going. And if you've got any other ideas out there, go and make it happen. The world needs to hear from you.
Go and make it happen.
The world needs to hear from you. Don't go to your grave with your idea. It's a waste. Stop it. If you need motivation.
I've got one more thing to share.
No. Okay, maybe you can share it next week. Last thing from me. Go and share it. Share the last thing.
So there's a parable in the Bible. I'm a Christian, like I said. There's a parable in the Bible. It's called the parable of talents. So, you know, for one, this king had like 3 servants. He gave one 10 talents. He gave another one 5, and he gave another one 1. And again, the one that had 10, he went and multiplied it. Again, the same with the second person. But the last person, he had 1, and he went to go and bury it. And then they asked, you know, why did you do that? You know,
Yeah.
the king asked, why did you do that? And he was like, oh, you know, because whatever excuse he gave. And yeah, he was not very happy with that person that buried one. And, you know, just consider for yourself, like, which one do you sitting? Like, are you 10 or are you 5 or are you 1? So even if you have 1, still do something. And talents is like a version of the coin system back in the day. But if you look at it like just general English, talent is talent. Use it. Don't bury it, man. We've got time. This life is
Perfect.
short.
And the thing is, that ties in with what I was going to say about burying it. If you lack motivation, I challenge you, find your nearby cemetery and go for a walk.
Oh, yeah.
Go for a walk. So I don't mean go there like midnight or 1 a.m. in the morning. I'm not saying
Kill
that.
yourself.
Find your nearby cemetery in the afternoon. Go for a walk. I need motivation. Look at the tombstones. Look at what's there. And be clear that you don't want to be somebody who's there, because there's only one way off this planet.
Yeah.
So that you want to utilize your talent by the time it's your turn. So I'll leave that with you. So thank you very much, everyone. Have a great one. See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye. And be your awesome. Let's transform the world.
Awesome. Great.